What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom, host of the True Players Podcast, hitting you with the upfront, blatantly honest, in your face, no punches held opinions on sports, current events, relationships, and many other topics along the way. Check out this next episode of my podcast.
You can never be too G'd up for love. Get out of here. Take a little flight. Let's get lost in love. Let's go. Ma, it's no problem to hold you, tongue stroke you, please you like I'm supposed to. Touch spots that ain't ever been touched, and I won't stop till both these squirrels get they nuts. Hey, you know it's good when we freakin', king size squeaking after I ease in. If you was with me, baby, 24/7, best believe that every single day would be a sweet day. Girl, you sweeter than a cheesecake. If you want beef, prophecy would be a beefcake. I make love to you till you fall asleep, leave you with sweet dreams between the sheets.
Was the night before that night. I was born on that day, but not last night. Once upon a time, I had my cash right.
What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Dom coming live on the True Players Podcast episode. As we talk about the Knicks and the New York Jets, the big items that's happening right now, today. Yeah, over the past couple of days. But we're gonna get to the Knicks first. We're gonna talk about the Knicks ending their 3-game losing streak, beating the Los Angeles Lakers, 112 to 108, where we saw Julius Randle and RJ Barrett combine for 63 points, doing it without Jalen Brunson, who was out again with the ankle sprain. And what can I say? The team rebounded from a bad loss against the Clippers the night before, in which we saw Julius Randle revert to his previous season brain fucks, as you could say. I'm going to get into that right now, because when the Knicks was up 75-74 against the Clippers, just about to end the third quarter, and Julius Randle loses his mind, gets a technical foul, and the Clippers get 2 free throws. So instead of ending the third quarter with a 75-74 lead with some momentum, the Knicks were down 77-75, and then they lost to the Clippers. That ended up costing them a game because of. I felt that was a momentum changer. What Julius Randle did with that, it could have been a flagrant foul. To be honest with you, could have been a flagrant. So that's what happened, but I'm glad he rebounded this game, because during the game against the Clippers, he was struggling. He didn't have a good game, and it manifested into his head again, and in the course of the team. But in this game, he rebounded very well. He was 11 for 24 from the floor with 33 points and 8 rebounds. He was getting off to a big start. He got off to a very big start against the Lakers. Every time he plays against the Lakers, his former team, he always plays very well against them in LA. And it also always gets off to a fast start. And RJ Barrett contributes with 12 of 27 for 30 points, 5 rebounds and 2 assists, and IQ contributed 15 points. The thing about RJ Barrett, I believe he was 3 from 10 from three-point land. And I remember on previous podcasts I did mention what's holding RJ Barrett back from being an all-star is his perimeter shooting. He has to have that mid-range game. If he had a mid-range game like DeMar DeRozan, he could be a perennial all-star every single season and be more consistent with the three-point shot. He got to be at least 38-39% from three-point land. I understand he's playing out of position. A lot of fans is beating him up, saying that he's not worth the three. He's a bust. This, that, and the other. First of all, the man is not a bust. Okay. He's playing with 2 players who dominate the basketball. And each time he touches the basketball, he's trying too hard to score, because you know he may not even get the ball back in the possession to have an opportunity to have a chance to score the ball. And on top of that, he's playing the 3 position where he's playing against bigger players, and that's another thing he has to work on in the off season is the bulk up, go in the weight room, make himself stronger to play against those bigger forwards at the three spot. He's not playing a shooting guard position. That's for Quentin Grimes. So that's what he has to improve on. But I'm glad he dropped 30 points. Wasn't efficient with the shooting because of the 3-point shooting. Anything inside the 3-point arc, he's scoring at a high clip. Very efficient, and he's scoring at a high clip. So maybe RJ needs to focus on staying inside the 3-point line, driving to the basket, work on his mid-range game, and get some fouls, get to the free throw line to get his points. Not always rely on the 3-point shot. But the Knicks, like I said, the Knicks continue to play without Jalen Brunson, which I am going to tell you guys right now, he is the MVP of the NBA. He's the NBA MVP. For a guy who was not selected to the All-Star game, even though he should have been there, I believe he's the MVP of the league. If we got IQ as a six-man award, I believe those two guys should get those awards. I'm not saying that because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm saying because of the impact both players have in their respective positions to enable the Knicks to be 10 games over 500. Okay? That's the reason I'm saying it. And let's not forget the acquisition of Josh Hart, which I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't want them to trade Cam Reddish. I felt Cam Reddish should have been getting some playing time when the Knicks had some injuries and stuff like that. But I guess, like I said, when the coach does not like the player, the player's not gonna get on the bench. Cam is playing very well over there in Portland. So it is what it is. And I think possibly Obi Toppin, I'm gonna talk about him a little bit later in this segment of the podcast about that, because I think he's suffering behind the great play of for the most part, the great play of Julius Randle this season. For the most part, he does have his meltdowns that he had in when he played against the Clippers, and that's the difference between a player that can just get you into the playoffs and a player that can take you to deep in the playoffs. How do you handle adversity? How do you handle turbulence in your play? How do you handle not being able to score at will when you're struggling from the field with your shot? How does it translate to other facets of the game? How does it facet your mental state during the game? Most importantly, how does that translate to that? So that's another thing you want to talk about too. But let's get back to Josh Hart, the acquisition of Josh Hart. Josh Hart came to the Knicks. The Knicks won 9 in a row in the games that he played. This guy is bringing the intangibles that guys like Oakley, Starks, those hustle plays, those extra rebounds to help with Mitchell Robinson, who's playing phenomenally also on the offensive and defensive boards. And the guy whipping up Hartenstein, he's playing pretty well too with the rebounds too. He's finally getting the rebounds that he should have been getting early in the season. So everything's clicking. But okay, we're gonna keep talking. He brings an element to the Knicks that the Knicks really needed, especially at crunch time. I understand guys are going to lose some playing time in the crunch time, like guys like RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, because Josh Hart has nose for the basketball and knows how to make big plays without scoring. And that's what this team needs. Josh Hart understands his role. He's hitting something. There's times he's scored big in games. There's this games his defense alone is just providing impact to the team. That's enabling the team to be a winning basketball team right now. He's probably the main reason, one of the main reasons why the Knicks are 10 games over 500. Him and the play of Jalen Brunson are the main reason why the Knicks are up there. 10 games over 500. They're still the 6th seed. But when it's all said and done, in my opinion, the Knicks should be the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. When it's all said and done, when the season's over, they should be the 5th seed. There should be no reason why they should be in the same record as the Nets right now. The Nets don't have KD or Kyrie anymore. They got Dinwiddie. They got Cam Johnson. I mean, good players, but they're not KD and Kyrie level. And Knicks definitely should overtake them. but you got to give the Brooklyn Nets some credit also. But Josh Hart, like I said, is bringing a certain intangible to the team that was sorely missed. And he already states he's going to opt out, but already is planning on resigning with the New York Knicks, which is, you know, welcome addition because um, someone who wants to be a Knick. And I think Jalen Brunson has a lot to do with it because that's a former teammate from Villanova. So, that has a lot to do with it. The Jalen Brunson influence. And hopefully the Knicks will be able to get that superstar to put them in the conversation of competing for a championship. And with all due respect, ladies and gentlemen, I think the Knicks superstar is playing in LA. And it's not LeBron James. It actually is Kawhi Leonard. I know Kawhi Leonard loves being at home in LA, but that is a superstar the Knicks need right now to go along with Brunson, to go along with Randall. In order to make that happen, I think RJ Barrett is going to be part of that trade. If they ever come up with that trade, RJ Barrett and the draft picks have to be involved in that trade and try to avoid trading quickly in the trade as well. If you start the trade like that and give up a lot of first round picks, I think that's the idea. Do I want RJ Barrett to go? No. But the way the New York Knicks fans is riding him for every bad possession he has, every missed shot, missed 3-pointer, they egging on him, saying call him the bust and this, that, and the other. Where was this energy for Julius Randle when he was struggling last season? Okay? Where was that energy? You can't pick and choose who you want to pick on because you didn't get Donovan Mitchell. The reason why the Knicks didn't get Donovan Mitchell has nothing to do with this past offseason. It has everything to do with Phil Jackson being the GM of the New York Knicks at the time where they had the opportunity to draft Donovan Mitchell. Okay? That's where the blame is. And I don't want to hear we didn't know what Donovan Mitchell was going to be. If you had proper scouts, if you were doing your job as a GM, scouting basketball games for the draft pick that you have at the 4th pick, you would have known this guy was a diamond in the rough, a superstar in the making. And you messed it up by being a Latino. Okay, that's neither here nor there. We're gonna move on from that. We've been moved on from that. So, let me get back to my thoughts on RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett this season, since his big contract has been pressing, he has. He does not warrant the type of treatment that the Knicks fans are giving him. The Knicks fans should be supporting this kid. He is still 22 years old. He has a lot of NBA basketball left in him. Let's give him the support that he needs to become the star player that we envision him to be with the 3rd pick in the draft. Okay? Let's not kick him in the ass each time something goes wrong. Well, meanwhile, his cohort, Julius Randle, have a bad game and have a mental breakdown. It causes them a game, and it's not kid gloves. All right, we don't say nothing because he's having a great season. Julius Randle's great season has everything to do with the MVP of the league. NBA MVP of the league is Jalen Brunson. He's the reason why he's able to play the way he's playing. Do I believe? Could Julius Randle play the way he's been playing without Jalen Brunson? Yes, he can. He has done it before. But the closing of the games, we all know Julius Randle's not a finisher, even though he hit that game-winning shot against the Heat. That's probably his first game-winning shot with the Knicks in 5 years. In 5 years, 5 seasons playing for the Knicks, that's probably his first game-winning shot he ever hit. Quote me if I'm wrong. Quote me if I'm wrong. But I think RJ Barrett has hit more game-winning shots than Julius Randle. I think RJ Barrett hit like 3. So. And the one guy I'm feeling bad for is Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin's feeling bad. I feel bad for him because I think he's a talent that the Knicks, like I said, that's being blocked by the great play of Julius Randle. I just wish Tom Thibodeau finds a way to use both of them so he could play at least 20 minutes per game. We all saw at the end of the last season what Obi Toppin could do once he plays over 30 minutes per game. He's going to average over 25 points a game. And this brings a different dynamic to the offense when he's on the floor. Now you have an opportunity instead of half court basketball, you could now play some up tempo offense, some more motion offense with Obi Toppin, especially with IQ on the floor with his buddy. The Knicks even the Knicks with Jalen Brunson now, what we have right now with the team right now. If you throw in some motion offense, this team will be such a better team. It's too much ISO ball. I just think it's just something with these defensive coaches. They believe in ISO ball. If you don't be ask when we had Mike Woodson as head coach, ISO Mello all day long, and then when he was in Atlanta, ISO Joe with Joe Johnson. All these defensive coaches have ISOs. Even Tom Thibodeau, when he had Derrick Rose in his rookie season, the first 3 years, MVP Derrick Rose, it was ISO Rose. ISO Rose. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this too, about the not playing Jalen Brunson being hurt. I think this could have been a good idea to give some time to Rose as well. But the way Quentin McBride, Miles Deuce has been playing, the way he played yesterday, I think that he made the right decision by keeping Rose on the bench. Deuce made some great defensive plays, made some big shots, big 3-point shots, and Deuce is just fighting for playing time. And I like the competitive spirit. This team is Knicks team. Well, I would say it's deep, but you got a lot of guys who play the same way on that team, which is causing playing time fluxes here and there. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. The Knicks is going to play against they're going to see an old friend Tuesday night. In Cam Reddish and the Portland Trail Blazers with Dame Lillard. I want to say one more thing before we get into the Jets situation. I want to talk a little bit about spring training baseball, but I'm going to leave that for when I'm with my guy Matt. So we're going to leave that with him. I'm going to definitely have him on the show because the baseball season is going to start in 3 weeks. We're almost there. In 3 weeks, we're going to be the opening day. I want to definitely chat up with Matt about the New York Mets spring training and the World Baseball Classic, and the Mets had to shut down some pitchers, which is kind of alarming right now. With Quintana and Senga, which kind of makes me nervous. And also being Matt, I'm gonna talk with Matt about Mr. Jacob deGrom, and I got a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about that too. But like I said, Knicks playing the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's see what happens. Get back on this roll because we got to make that 5th seed. And if I'm just a greedy individual, I want to get it to the 4th seed if possible and overtake Cleveland. It's going to be tough. I don't think it's going to happen. But the Knicks right now avoid the playing games. Avoid the playing games at all costs. Keep the 5th and 6th seed and go from there. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the New York Jets. To all my Jet fans, what's up? How you doing? A lot of developments happened today. That's kind of hurts the Jets as far as the quarterback search. If Aaron Rodgers trade does fall through, is Aaron Rodgers coming to the Jets? Is it going to be a reality for the New York Jets? As far as the reports are saying, they've agreed a compensation to make that trade happen with the Jets. Jets and Packers already agreed a compensation. But how much will it cost the Jets to have Aaron Rodgers on this team? I'm kind of skeptical about giving up first-round picks because I feel the Jets could use that first-round pick on either an offensive lineman or a big time safety or linebacker on that team. And let me tell you something, guys. Joe Douglas, he did a good job these past season with the draft, but he fucked up with Marcus May. He should have resigned Marcus May. Should have signed Marcus May. There's a big hole in the safety position, even though they traded for Chuck Clark from the Ravens. So they definitely going to try to cut Whitehead to have Chuck Clark fill in that slot, cheaper alternative. Um, the Jets have done a lot of cap room restructuring and opening up the cap room to fit Aaron Rodgers' salary into the team without hurting them from re-signing Quinnen Williams. That's a priority right now. They cut Braxton Berrios, an overrated player. Thank God he's not on this team, so I don't have to hear the Jet fans talk about him, how great he is. Because he proved last year when he got his money, he wasn't as great as he was before. He lost his hunger. The Jets restructured the contracts of DJ Reed, Tyler Conklin, Laken Tomlinson, which freed up almost $15 million of cap space. And they're not done yet. They got to think about what they're going to do with Carl Lawson, if they're able to restructure his deal as well to get more cap space. It's very important to get cap space because not only are the Jets looking to get Aaron Rodgers, they were also at Odell Beckham's workout also. So they're probably looking to fill in that receiver to go on the opposite side of Garrett Wilson. And I have a strange feeling that Elijah Moore is probably in that package, that conversation, going back to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers. I have a feeling about that, along with some draft picks, but I have a feeling about that's going to happen. My thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. The Jets purposely did not sign Derek Carr. Even Derek Carr was eager to be with the Jets. Eager to be with the Jets. He had a great meeting with the Jets. But the Jets didn't pull the trigger. Why? Because the owner got involved and wants another Green Bay Packer quarterback who is older. And you don't know how long he's going to be playing with the Jets. That's a dice you got to roll with. But the beautiful thing is about the thoughts of having Aaron Rodgers on the team. One, he could play in cold weather. That was a big negative with Derek Carr. Being able to play in cold weather was a big negative for me with Derek Carr. All right, so you bring in Aaron Rodgers to this team. He makes his team instantly better. Playoff contender, not a Super Bowl contender, because keep in mind one thing in the AFC. You got to contend with the Bengals and the Chiefs and the Bills. Those four teams. Okay? It's a tough sled to slay. But can they do it? Yes, they can. If they get Aaron Rodgers on this team, Vera Tuck is back healthy. Mekhi Becton is back healthy. The offensive line is the key. And that's what Jets need to focus on. In the draft, improve the defense. Try to talk to Carl Lawson into restructuring his deal, which we hope can happen. If not, he could get cut and then get re-signed. But the Ravens just cut Calais Campbell, and I feel that adding him to that mix of pass rushers the Jets have can make this defense even a whole lot better. And Calais could play inside and outside, which could definitely help out with the rotation and getting to the quarterback. But this is the problem. This is the problem that we're gonna have if the Jets don't complete the trade, or if Aaron Rodgers says no, he doesn't want to be traded to the Jets, or no, he wants to retire. This is what the Jets are dealing with now. All right, Mike White, the starting quarterback for a couple of games with the Jets, just signed with the Dolphins. Okay, Derek Carr already went to the Saints. That was the first domino drop in the offseason. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to go with the Raiders with Josh McDaniel. Okay, which leaves you with available quarterbacks of Baker Mayfield, and now also Sam Darnold, who was available, is now just now a 49er. He's back home in California. Okay, you got Teddy Bridgewater, Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, Andy Dalton, Gardner Minshew, and Jameis Winston, who could be cut from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And also, you got Lamar Jackson lurking out there for a trade. Nothing against Lamar Jackson. His skill set does not fit this team. It's not gonna take this team to where we want it to be, which is going to the Super Bowl. That's not going to happen with Lamar Jackson at the quarterback because over the past 2 years he's been injury prone. His style of play leaves him open to injuries. So we got to, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I don't care what anybody tells me. I wouldn't do Lamar Jackson. Sorry. Jameis Winston, who could be cut by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if the Buccaneers do sign Baker Mayfield. So now this is the scenario that the Jets is dealing with now. So in my opinion, the quarterbacks for the Jets right now, you only have Zach Wilson and Streveler on that roster playing quarterback. So God forbid Aaron Rodgers decides to retire and says, no, I don't want to come to the Jets. You're going to have to draft another quarterback in that first round pick. First. And then you got the pool of Teddy Bridgewater, Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, Andy Dalton, Gardner Minshew, and Jameis Winston. Only if Tampa Bay signs Baker Mayfield. Only if that happens. Then Jameis Winston will be available. Me personally, I already said no to Lamar Jackson. So if I was JD, where would I go? Where would I go? I'm not dealing with Teddy Bridgewater. He's been shown to be injury prone with the Dolphins, and he didn't do much with the Dolphins last season when he had the opportunity when Tua was injured. Carson Wentz once was a decent quarterback, but the past few years hasn't been kind to him. He lost his job in the Colts, playing for the Colts. They got rid of him to bring Matt Ryan. As a matter of fact, now that I mentioned Matt Ryan, if the trade does fall through with Aaron Rodgers, do you flirt for trading for Matt Ryan? Or does Matt Ryan get cut by the Colts? And he could serve as a bridge to the next Jet quarterback. Does he have anything left? Does he have anything left that would provide the same impact that Aaron Rodgers could have brought to the team? If Aaron Rodgers does not come, we're now waiting, we have the waiting and going on with Aaron Rodgers. Marcus Mariota, you got Andy Dalton, Gardner Minshew. Okay, in the scenario that Aaron Rodgers does not come, these are the quarterbacks that I'm going to be looking at. Okay, and you guys can shoot me or curse me out, say I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But right now, I'm going to be looking at Carson Wentz, Marcus Mariota, Gardner Minshew, and Jameis Winston. And probably two quarterbacks from that group. Two quarterbacks. One could serve as a backup and give Zach Wilson the hoodie and the clipboard. Or one of them, and they both could compete for the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. The Jets got weapons. And with Nathaniel Hackett, he struggled in Denver with Russell Wilson. Maybe he may be someone who could turn it around, turn the Jets offense around. Maybe maybe know how to use Denzel Mims better than LaFleur did. But you got to cut. I'm not sure to just cut Corey Davis yet to get that cap room. I think they should do that. Yeah, Corey Davis, if he's on the team, should be gone. So let's see what happens with that. But that's what I would go with. Those are the sim picks. I don't want Andy Dalton. I don't want no part of him whatsoever. No part. Um, I would start with Wentz, Mariota, and Winston. My top three. If Aaron Rodgers does not come to the team. Now, if Aaron Rodgers does come to the team, then you can sign one of those quarterbacks as a backup to Aaron Rodgers and go from there. And then if you're able to bring in Odell Beckham Jr., why not? You got yourself a team that can compete with the Chiefs, that can compete with the Bengals, that can compete with the Buffalo Bills. Okay, that's what you have here. I'm gonna speak a little bit about the Giants. Daniel Jones gets $160 million. He did have a good season. He did have a decent season. Was he worth $160 million? That's up to the Giants fans to talk about. Okay, he did give the man some credit. He did have a decent season, and now the next step for the Giants is now possibly locking up Saquon Barkley um, for a new contract, and really get themselves some receivers who could play. They were also at Odell Beckham's workout as well, and it could be a possibility of a reunion between the New York Giants and Odell Beckham Jr. also. Okay, so let's not forget about that at all, guys. Let's not forget about that at all. Like I said, you can listen to this podcast. I'm about to end the podcast. It's been a long time I've been with you guys to talk to you about, sports and stuff like that. But it's great to talk to you guys. Definitely, you can definitely watch this podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can watch it on Patreon. Subscribe to my Patreon channel as well. You can listen to the podcast on Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, SoundCloud, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and any other podcast engine that broadcasts podcasts. I am on it. True Players Podcast. Definitely, guys. Like I said, next episode I'm gonna set up a time with Matt, the Jacobin Sports Show, and Knicks Believe Pod. Get them on. We could talk about Grapefruit League baseball with the New York Mets and spring training before the season starts. So definitely, guys, it's your man Big Dom. I'm gonna sign off on this podcast. All right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sign off this podcast. So I'm gonna catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.